when I deliver, decipher, distribute the flow, flip it, I grip it, I slip it, I dip it, and I rip it with consonant clusters. I master the flow like a bluster of wind in my chest, and I confess that my thoughts never rest, and I invest in my breast for respect for my lady. She shine, a divine, intertwined with my mind, and I grind past the confines of the lines that confine my designs, and I climb, I rhyme at the time, at the prime of my life, and the rhyme that I mime, and I sign every line, like a sign of the times I find, and unwind, and the bind of the grind, and the mind, a reminder the light in the night is a kite, like a night, like a fight in the flight, in the sight of the light of our eyes, a surprise, and mesmerize, and I verbalize with the precise device of my voice, my choice. I rejoice when I noise in the void of the street, we repeat. I meet every heat with a feed to the seed that I cheat with the sheet of my mind that I grind in the bind of the find that I mindfully rewind every line to remind that I'm blind to the kind of the find that I'm signed in my mind, but I slide in the tide of a vibe, and I prescribe to describe of the rhyme that I climb, and I prime in the time of the sublime is mine, and I design and I intertwine with the vine with the shine of a sign and the kind of my grind and the mind with the kind of refined lines that define and entwine, and I spin in the bin of the sin that I win with the grin and begin again in the pen of my zen and the din of my mental content and the blend of the bend of the sin with the friend and I lend and again to defend what I'm in and I tend and I blend of the trend and I run with the bend of the sin of the lend and I guess in the pretend of the pen of the sin of the bend of the sin of the so I fin and I spin and again to transcend the extend of the blend and I man in the trend of the sand and I bend every end and I blend and I man in the trend of the sand and I land in the end of the trend and I ran with the pen of the stand and I spin and I stand at the grin and I spin at the